Alexa, you should see this horrible comment someone just left on one of her old videos on Facebook.
What did it say?
Alright, so, excuse my language here, but this is exactly what they wrote. All this extra made me click away. Come on, man, just don't the review. This is why you don't have much views, doing this dumb stuff in the beginning. You know what? I think I'm gonna take the high road and just ignore this comment.
No way. You need to stop being so nice, and tell this turd how you feel. No one is going to walk all over Mayor Aaron. Over LumberJillville. No one.
You know what? Maybe you're right. No more Mr. Nice Mayor.
That's right. Now rip into this guy. Don't hold back.
Yeah, watch this. Okay. Dear Mr. Face, why don't you get out of your mother's basement, find a LumberJillville, and kiss this mayoral. Boom. Posted.
I'm proud of you, Mayor Aaron.
Thanks, Co-Mayor Alexa. But to be honest with you, I kind of feel a little dirty about it. I mean, I always take the positive high road, you know? But I think you're right. If someone comes along and wants to troll on the internet and take a big old fat dump on LumberJillville, then I have every right to put my foot sideways and stick it straight up their candy. Oh, I think they responded.
What did he say back?
Co-Mayor Alexa, it won't let me post anything. Oh boy, this can't be good. What does this message mean?
Well, it looks like you've been officially sentenced to Facebook jail.
What? Jail? Oh no. I am much too pretty and wholesome for jail. Oh. Out on bail, fresh out of jail, LumberJillville dreaming. Guess who's back, and guess who can post again?
Oh dear Lord, what have you been doing the last 24 hours? Why do you look like that?
Well, you see, my time in jail...
Facebook jail.
Yeah, okay, my time in jail, it changed me. It hardened me from the core. It made me realize I need to be a tougher man for the woman and what we do here in LumberJillville.
Mayor Aaron, you literally were banned from posting for a day. You weren't even locked up. What's wrong with you? And what is on your face?
Oh, you talking about this little ink I got on my cheek, short, hey? Yeah, well, my cellmate gave me this ink when we were behind bars to not only show our love and dedication to LumberJillville, but also to women's wrestling figures. Yeah, I think the J might be backwards, but you know what? My cellmate and I, we bonded over it.
Cellmate?
Hey y'all, welcome to LumberJillville. Women's wrestling lives here. Now before we get started with today's review, I just want to remind you to please hit subscribe to become an official resident of LJV and get a first look at all future women's wrestling figure reviews like today's very exciting review of Elite Series 110, Rhea Ripley. Now at the time of this recording, Rhea is out with injury. However, she's still kind of involved in the storyline with Liv and Dom because I think her return is super anticipated. But before her injury, she was the hottest name in WWE. Not just the women, not just the men. I put her at the top. And it's real disappointing that she didn't have more figures released in her dominant run there. But either way, I'm happy we have this Elite because it looks like it had some changes made to it, some upgrades on sculpt choices, and I'm real excited to take a closer look. So let's start by looking at the packaging. Alright, so starting off with the packaging here, I will say I do like the presentation of this figure. I love how it's displayed with her given the double bicep flex. Also, her title is around her waist. We do have the extra hands on the side, which I think is an eyesore, but I get that they have to kind of show everything that comes with this figure in that limited display area. But this would be an interesting figure to see signed because that limited window area really does inhibit the view. So if she gives her signature there, I don't know how that would look, but displayed without the signature on the front, I think it looks pretty darn cool, honestly. As I mentioned, that window size has gotten smaller as of late with this new Elite style packaging. And for probably the 4th year, we have flimsy cardboard once again. I mean, I talk about it every Elite review, at least I have the last few years, how the quality of the cardboard is just so thin and cheap, and it's going to be really hard to find one of these MOC, especially if you find it in the stores or you get it shipped online, because odds are this thing's going to come damaged. But either way, I think the display looks nice here. We have the Series 110 there, her name, an image of the stunning Rhea Ripley. As I mentioned, she's posed awesome in the packaging, flexing both biceps. Image on the side. On the back, we have this little blurb. It says, "The Judgment Day's mommy made Zelina Vega's dream to become the SmackDown Women's Champion a nightmare at Backlash 2023. So that's really, really cool, and we'll get into the details of what this attire is exactly from. And then we have the rest of the series. So that being said, I'm going to cut the tape, open this up, and let's take a closer look. WWE Elite Series 110 Rhea Ripley. This attire is from the 2023 Backlash Premium Live event, which took place on May 6th in Puerto Rico. On this night, Rhea Ripley would defeat Zelina Vega to retain the WWE SmackDown Women's Championship. Zelina's upcoming Elite and the LWO 5-pack from Mattel Creations also depicts this match. Alright, so my overall first impressions of this figure. Now, this is the Rhea Ripley we have deserved for quite a long time. Her previous figures did leave a lot to be desired, mostly from body sculpt part choices that really didn't fit her overall physique, but here they made some upgrades and it looks freaking awesome. I love this all-white gear. It just really pops and stands out. The detail here is amazing, and we'll get to all that detail. We'll also do a comparison between this figure and her previous Elites later on in the video. But right off the bat, she comes packaged with 2 closed fist hands so she can pose. She also has 2 semi-grasping hands that can hold things if you want, with tattoo detail on that left hand. Now, the SmackDown Women's Championship, I was looking at it, and it's got some added detail, and I'll show you what I'm talking about here. Now, it is that smaller scale SmackDown Women's Championship that was corrected, starting with that Elite 100 Becky Lynch, and it works really well. Now, just for comparison, I'll show you Elite 103, Liv Morgan's title was at smaller scale 1-2, as you can see. Now, the older scale, which was just a repented men's championship, is this one here. And this is from that Liv Morgan Ronda Rousey Championship Showdown 2-pack, and you can see it's much bigger. So yeah, this smaller one looks much, much better. Now the detail on it is fantastic. If you look closely, and this is just me with a microscope on, I guess, if you look at the W, you could almost see the individual diamonds, so to speak. I did bunny ear quotes. Diamonds, so to speak. And it really makes the W's pop and stand out. Now, what I mean is I'll show you side by side with that Elite 103 Liv Morgan. As you can see, if you look inside the W's, there's not black accents painted on the W or along the top in the squares. And here we have that. So they made some tremendous upgrades to this title, and it looks fantastic. It is the best WWE Women's Championship I think we have gotten so far. Not only is the scale awesome, but the detail they put in the W on the border of this plate here, it looks fantastic. So hopefully you can see the differences here between the top and the bottom. We also have the custom side plates for Rhea, so that's really, really cool. So yeah, this title is amazing. Now let's dive into the figure itself. All right, so this is a brand new face sculpt, face scan, and hair sculpt for Rhea, and I think they absolutely knocked it out of the park with this one. Now, I will say early images of this figure, the facial likeness didn't look very good in my opinion. I don't know if it was just the images, the pictures that were taken weren't the best photos or what, but I am happy to say that the final product, the figure on its release, the face looks freaking awesome. It is near perfection. I absolutely love this new sculpt and scan for Rhea. I think it looks great. I love all the little intricate details they added, and let's get into those. So right off the bat, you can see she's got a smiling sculpt. It looks awesome. She's got black lipstick. Very, very cool. She has nose piercings, and it's kind of hard to tell. There's a little bit of sculpting going on. We have a loop there. And then there's some painting to show that she has the piercings there. We also have the Judgment Day JD on the cheek, not JD McDonough. That is Judgment Day JD, dang it, on that left cheek. That's a nice little detail. And what really stands out, this sounds crazy, it's the eyes. The eyes look good, but the heavy eyeliner and eye makeup around the eyes, it looks amazing. Like, looking at this face sculpt and scan through my phone right now, it looks like I'm looking at an image of Rhea. I mean, I think it's fantastic in person. I think it looks absolutely stunning. Now, she also has her ear gauges sculpted there, which is really, really cool. And then her new hair sculpt, which is just a simple slicked back black hair sculpt. That was very hard to say, tongue twister, and it looks excellent. So yeah, I really, really, really like this face sculpt, face scan, and hair sculpt. I think it's tremendous. I would like to see a sculpt in the future with her tongue hanging out, kind of a real deep emotion, you know, Rhea, but beggars cannot be choosers, and this sculpt and scan looks great just how it is. All right, Muscle Mommy. We have a Rhea Ripley with an excellent muscular physique that is very lifelike to Rhea in real life. Now, this is a big deal because there are superstars who have gotten the short end of the stick in the past. I mean, every single one of Bianca Belair's figures are way too dainty. They're not muscular enough. And that Ultimate Edition is great. Don't get me wrong. We had an upgrade on the legs, but still the arms and midsection, the torso, everything was just not proportioned to how Bianca is in real life. And that's a shame. I really think they missed the ball with her. But with Rhea, her previous elites, as you'll see here in the next segment, her previous elites were not really to scale. They really didn't give her muscular physique that she has in real life. So we finally got awesome part choices for this Rhea Ripley. I will say the arms are awesome. They're muscular. They're big. But they are kind of short. They are a little bit short. But as I mentioned, it really doesn't take away from the figure that much. I just noticed when she's not flexing and her arms are at her side, they kind of look like Rhino. Do you remember that Rhino wrestler that used to be in ECW and WWE? It kind of reminds me of him. So the arms are a little bit short in my opinion, but I am glad that they're at least muscular. I think they're toned great. Also, this midsection piece here, we'll start with the top here. It is a broader shoulder, more muscular Rhea. We have sculpting on the chest there. And even the back looks pretty muscular, which is awesome. The legs are also, I think they're muscular. It's kind of a optical illusion. We'll wait to compare this in the next section to her previous elite and see if the legs are the same or if they made an upgrade to the sculpt on the legs, because I can't tell with the fishnet pattern here and the tattoos. It's kind of throwing me off. So I don't know if the legs are muscular enough, but we will find out when we do a comparison there. I think it looks great how it is. So yeah, as far as the body sculpt goes, amazing. I'm finally glad that Rhea has her physique represented in figure form. I mean, if you look at her previous basics, yikes, 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 yikes. That's all I can say. She had the Ichabod Crane legs, but we're not here to talk about those. We're here to talk about this figure, and I love the part choices. They look great. Now, looking at the tattoo detail first, I mean, there's a lot to unpack, a lot going on. On her right forearm, you can see the tattoo detail there. It's tremendous, absolutely unreal. Her left arm has even more tattoo detail, as you can see, going all around. We even have text up there. Let's zoom in on that text. Yeah, very, very cool. It's insane, the detail. We have the JD tattoo on the cheek, of course. And then the leg tattoos are absolutely insane. Now, what's really cool is we have the fishnets stockings painted on top of the tattoos, much like her previous elite, as I'll show you. But it looks unreal. I mean, it looks super lifelike. There is so much detail here in the tattoos. I mean, it's insane. It really is hard to put into words the amount of detail they went with the tattoos here. Now, the attire itself, once again, awesome detail. Let's get this out of the way. She has painted on wristbands. They're not sculpted, just painted on, which that's fine. Now we have this mommy choker necklace, which is awesome. And it is removable. If you pop off the head, it can come off, but that's really, really cool. The top is a sculpted top here with nice little sculpted details, including little rivets on the top. The buckles are sculpted and painted with a nice silver accent. As I mentioned, she has a pronounced chest sculpt, which is nice. And then moving on to the back, going on to the midsection, there's just more sculpted detail that you really have to have this figure in hand to appreciate, in my opinion, because all these different patterns and designs are sculpted on and painted with great intricacy. Very, very cool. We even have little chains sculpted on the sides and the front that go down. On the bottoms here, we have those chains once again painted, and they're painted as a really realistic type pattern. They look great. And yeah, more sculpting going on, more intricate painting going on. And of course, we have to have Dom Dom on the cheeks on the back. That is awesome. That is hilarious. Definitely a cool little detail that they did that. I think that looks great. Now, what's also cool is this little accessory here, this, I guess, extra piece. It's like this rubber plastic piece here to simulate the straps that she wears. Now, yes, if it was more realistic, I guess these would be a little bit lower, and we'd have some cheek coming out of the bottoms here, but that's not really Mattel's thing, and that's perfectly fine. Not a huge deal, but yeah, just talking about what would be more realistic. But this piece here really does add to the figure and adds to its coolness. And as I mentioned, we have that tattoo detail, which is tremendous, underneath that fishnet pattern. And then we have her signature boots, which once again have amazing sculpted detail pattern. It looks fantastic. Even the buckles are painted silver, the little studs, the little loops are painted. So, I mean, that was a long segment covering the body sculpt and the attire, but it's that intricate, that detailed, and honestly, in my opinion, that amazing. The only thing that might be a little bit off is the length of the arms. But you know what? That could just be me. Not a huge deal. The rest of it is absolutely amazing. All right, now this is one of my favorite segments. I love comparing and contrasting a superstar's previous figures to see if it's improved. And boy, Rhea has gotten a glow up in figure form, let me tell you. So on the way left, we have her very first Elite with Elite Series 84, released in 2021. Then we have Elite Series 102, which didn't come out that long ago. It came out in 2023. And then we have today's Elite. So as you can see, the thing that really stands out between all her figures is this new Elite really does get her physique right. Now, as you can see, her first in the line Elite is the tallest. It's actually quite taller than the other ones. But Rhea Ripley is actually only listed at 5'7". A lot of people imagine her at 6 foot or above, but she's actually only 5'7". So yeah, I think this new Rhea is much more realistic as far as height goes. Now, just looking at all three of them, they all have three very different looks, and in my opinion, all three really cool looks. Now, the problem with her first Elite was simply the sculpt and body part choices. I thought the face sculpt and the scan, it was fine, it was okay. I thought it looked like her at the time. And I really like the attire choice of that shirt and the sculpting detail that went into the pants. But the body part choices were absolutely terrible. These legs are super long and skinny. Her midsection is tiny. And she's just way too elongated, right? So that really did not represent Rhea. Now, her next Elite, I thought did an excellent job. I thought this Elite was fantastic. I really did think they made some improvements, and it looks like they did bulk her up a little bit, give her a little bit more muscular physique, but it was still missing something in my opinion. We have that same sculpt and scan, but they did add some detail to it, like a shave in her eyebrow. She had a little upper cartilage piercing there, her ear gauges, and obviously on her cheek she had a little tattoo there. And yeah, this was an excellent figure in my opinion. But I still thought it was missing something, and that leads me to today's figure. Now, we are going to put these two side by side. This one, we can decide, is the worst of the three Elites. So, between these two, I mean, I thought that this Elite Series 102 was actually an excellent figure, and I still think it's a really good one. But that was until today. Once I got this one, I realized, wow, they've been really not doing a great job with Rhea Ripley and her physique. You know, this one, it was kind of hidden because she has that one sleeve. She has a lot of different decorations and extra pieces to kind of cover up the physique, but it is missing something. It's way too dainty, right? So I think, by and large, I mean, it's not even close. Today's Elite Series 110 is by far the best Rhea Ripley figure that we have gotten so far. And the one thing I will say has nothing to do with Rhea Ripley, but I really hope that Bianca gets the same treatment. She's had tons of figures, you know, she's a huge superstar, and they really haven't done her physique justice in figure form. The Ultimate was the closest, but they still missed quite a bit, especially in the midsection sculpt. So this is promising. This is promising, and I am super happy that we did get this quality, muscular, strong, awesome Rhea Ripley figure because she freaking deserves it. And us women's wrestling figure collectors, we deserve it too. All right, so as far as articulation goes, the head moves like none. I'm not gonna lie, it does not move at all. I don't know if mine's just kind of, oh, there it goes. Okay, I don't want to break it. It was kind of frozen in place there, but there's not a whole lot of movement here with the head, even with that short hairstyle. I think that choker might play a part of it. The upper shoulder is on a ball joint, can move in all different directions. We have the upper bicep swivel, double jointed elbow so she can really flex them. Wow. Now what I want to see is if she can cross her arms. That's what I wanted to do for the thumbnail pose. And I'm pretty sure because they kind of gave her alligator arms, she can't even come close to crossing them, but that's okay. Now we have a wrist swivel, can also extend up and flex. We have that upper torso swivel there, really good movement. We have a waist swivel. Thighs on a ball joint, can move in all different directions. We have the upper thigh swivel, double jointed knees, which can really flex back. We have an upper boot swivel, and then we have elite style feet that can rock back and forth, and also plantar flex and dorsiflex. So yeah, the articulation is awesome. Man, this figure's great. So overall, I give WWE Elite Series 110 Rhea Ripley a perfect score of a 10 out of 10. This is the Rhea Ripley figure that we deserve. She is such a huge star, and honestly, she almost can carry the torch for women's wrestling figures. And what I mean by that is she's a superstar that will sell, that if they make more figures of her that are done properly, they will fly off the shelves, really increase in numbers as to women's wrestling figures purchased. And it's a shame, it's a darn shame that we haven't got that many Rheas over the last couple years. I feel like we definitely should have gotten more, and the Rheas that we did get were missing something. Now, what they were missing, in my opinion, was that physique. And we finally have a muscular physique Rhea Ripley figure, and they did it to perfection, in my opinion. Now, this figure to me is in the top 3 best women's wrestling figures of 2024, right alongside that Ultimate Edition Asuka and that Jamie Hayter Unmatched Series 9. I think those 3 are really going to be competing for Figure of the Year for 2024, so I'm real interested to see who y'all vote for at the end of the year. But yeah, this Rhea Ripley is a must-buy. You absolutely need it, and I really hope, if you haven't ordered it yet, go to ringsidecollectibles.com, use coupon code LJV at checkout, and save 10% and pick it up because this figure is freaking fantastic. Thanks for stopping by LumberJillville. Women's wrestling lives here. To get a first look at all future women's wrestling figure reviews, make sure to hit subscribe and become an official resident of LJV today. Now stay tuned, there are tons, and I mean tons, of women's wrestling figure pre-orders from ringsidecollectibles.com that should be shipping very soon. So as soon as I get those, the reviews will be out on the channel right away. So I appreciate y'all watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and have a great night, y'all.